this will work. We are streaming on Facebook. This is a bit exciting. Let me double check because Martiene, who usually is so techie, so darn good, is not being techie good at all today.
And I'm no support on that.
Oh no, we don't have to. Yep, it looks like we're here, so this is good. I'm just gonna do this way so everyone can see you and me. We're like the Brady Bunch, where you're like, look to the left, it's like a tennis match. I love it. So welcome everyone in Facebook land. I am so delighted. Oh my God, you know it's going to be a good one when I try introducing someone. I have known this incredible human being for 13, 14 years. Karin and I met in Byron Bay a lifetime ago. We traveled to Bali together. We traveled to events together. We unlocked our inner everythings together. Karin is a plant-based lifestyler who has really found her voice in helping people to detoxify their lives and come home to themselves and the beauty that is everything that is natural and special and wonderful and human and feminine and real. And so Karin is the founder of Byron Me, which is a beautiful iteration of how to bring that Byron Bay lifestyle into your home and into your wellness and into your body and into your being. Like if there's anything I need to know about how does my body work, I speak to Karin. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce the very beautiful goddess, White Knight, light of my life, Karin and Knight, and the crowd goes wild.
We really have been on an adventure together, haven't we? My gosh.
Yeah. Totally been on adventures together. Yeah, including the past 5 minutes trying to go live.
And just kept our cool because we know that there's no point stressing out.
And as usual, we've got the black on the white, right? There's you and you're white with all the beautiful, and there's like me.
Yeah, you're very, very efficient and edgy. You're edgy. And I'm just like, hey, man, you know, bare feet.
I bare feet too. It's not so nice to go into the bare feet on in the streets of Costa Rica. So I'm in Costa Rica right now.
Costa Rica. Oh my gosh. From Costa Rica to Byron Bay. Wow.
Yeah. Which is a little bit Byron-esque in ways. I think that, you know, Costa Rica is like the Bali to the USA. That's how I see it.
Well, that's why you're there.
That's why we're here. My angel. So look, there's so much going on in your field and there's so much going on in your world. And like every time I interview someone, I never prep anyone because I just love for us to see where the energy takes us.
Let's have a conversation.
Chat. Hopefully someone's here. And if they're not, it's totally fine. I should check, right? In case they want to ask you questions. So if you have any questions for Karin, really shoot them through to me. If you have any questions about anything, like Karin, why don't you... Your story is so beautiful around how you've gotten from everything, like there's literally nothing you haven't done. So here you are at this stage in your life, right? After rearing 4 kids, grandkids, like now you're looking after other women so that they can look after their kids, themselves, their grandkids. What's the thing that keeps you going and going and going and going in today's
question? I suppose that I married a cowboy when I was 20 and moved from Sydney to the outback. And I remember ringing Mum saying, Mum, there's no humans between me and the horizon. I can't see anyone except for heat waves. And that was pretty hectic. And I had 4 children out there, and that was a lifestyle that I wasn't prepared for. And actually not long ago, I just sat down and wrote it all out, and I was actually surprised what I put up with and what I went through and how I coped and how I morphed into this person here today compared to the hardship that was out there in the outback. So the good thing about that was I learned that people need to have their feet on the ground, the sun on their face, and eat good quality food. You know, I was always getting kicked under the table for talking about cotton chemicals, and you know, I didn't realize I was a greenie, and I knew that hemp would be a better crop 33 years ago before there was Google, you know, and I was always a bit of a pain in the ass to the country folk, I've got to say. I was the only woman at the New South Wales Farmers Association meeting, just sitting there going, so what are we going to do about it? And they were like, oh, well, let's do something. Yeah, it was quite an experience. And then, of course, moving to Byron Bay with 4 kids was great. So I had separated from my husband. We spent quite a lot of time on our own little farm. And that's where, I was cutting firewood, growing food, had chickens and potty calves and dogs and horses and everything going on there. My friends used to say to me, there's a show on TV called McLeod's Daughters, and every time we watch it, we think of you out there. And then, apparently like country practice, because there was chickens and dogs and ducks in my kitchen all the time, and it was just all kids were allowed to paint the walls. It was just a bit nutty. So looking at Byron Bay to bring my family to the ocean, they weren't allowed to fly because 9/11, my ex-husband said, you can't fly, there's terrorists. So the only thing I could do with them was to bring them to a place that broadened their horizon and opened their eyes. And I said, this is all humans. This is every kind of human here today, in this town of yours, and they're going to raise you, and you can look at them all and choose and look at their, pros and cons of being that kind of person and become anything you want to be. So Byron Bay then helped me raise my children on that level, and the ocean was a big part of that. I thought I was so obscure and not normal in the country. I came here, I'm just run of the mill, another crazy single mum in Byron,
I love it. And I love that piece. And we say it all the time, but I don't think everyone really lands with it at times. It takes a village to raise a child, right? Mm-hmm. And so here's your village, Byron Bay. And for me, being Maori, and, when we have kids on the marae, when we have kids running around, like, your kids are my kids. They're our kids, right? If like a kid's naughty, like everyone's like, hey, pulls them in. If a kid's joyful or graduates, like everyone's, hey, we're celebrating. Like it really takes a community.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. I love it. And so you've been in Byron how long now?
Well, I keep hearing different, like I'm interviewing my favorite people at the moment that have been in Byron for as long as I have, that have influenced my kids' life and my life over the last over 20 years. Yeah. I haven't worked it out yet. I haven't sat down and gone, actually, how long was it? But all of my children for over 20 years have been here, and I've been a sole parent that whole time. And now when they graduated, I said, get out of Byron, just go and find yourself. Only one's boomeranged back recently, and that's kind of cool. And he's the youngest, so he's allowed to come back to mummy. That's fine.
Yay. So good. I love it. So tell me, I already know, but others don't know. The work that you're doing now to help people, because it's a crazy world and people are responding to things in
fear
ways or fear, right? It's a crazy world. And so here's this work like 12 months ago when we were speaking, probably this time 12 months ago, and we were like, we need to get people home to themselves so they could detox and boost their immunity and raise their vibration and fight this thing that's out in the world. Actually, the thing that's out in the world is fear, but we knew that back then. Why don't you share with us what's the work that's happening at the moment for you?
Well, okay. Over the last 20 years, I've been involved in a lot of events, styling events, catering events. That's where you and I met. I've had restaurants, I've opened, other people's restaurants and done all that. So it's about gathering the humans and making them feel beautiful and warm and safe and elegant and have a great time. So that was kind of my second nature. And of course, then I was managing the Byron Bay Detox Retreats kitchen there, and we'd have 22 people at a time come from all over Australia and outside of Australia back in those days to come and detox for a week. And then I worked with Tyler Tolman and his crew over in Bali, which was amazing. And I've worked with Tyler in Brisbane and Melbourne and Sydney and the Gold Coast and in Bali. So I had this passion about less is more, like just people that just, someone will come up to me at a retreat and say, look, my skin's really bad. And before they even get here, I can smell hairspray, dry cleaning fluid, perfume, all of this stuff. And I could see all of the things on them and I could smell them coming, and they're like, I'm just agitated and my skin's a bit, and I was like, wow. So when you're far away from it, you recognize, I had a little saying a while ago, we should be counting chemicals, not calories to stay well, So I had a beautiful woman came to Byron, and I supported her in flipping and changing her life. She never went home. She just called for her things, you know. She said, actually, I'm staying here. I'm going to buy a house. Her and I got on so well. She's an incredible woman, and she's achieved so much. And she wanted to support me in opening a business. So we actually started Byron Me. And I, you know, she wouldn't, not with her, but she's like my business person, because I'm a bit flighty. And had all these retreats ready. You know, I was really ready to punch forward and have all of these amazing retreats, one-on-one retreats, big retreats. And then the COVID thing happened, which is quite amazing. So I didn't know what else to do. So I just sort of started a Facebook page, a group, and just said, I'm going to show up every day. And I'm going to show up every day in front of a camera. And I'm going to share everything I know for free every day for 30 days. I didn't realize how much I knew. You know, you don't unless you're talking to someone, and then something comes up and you go, oh yeah, forgot I knew that. So I was showing up, and we're having these great conversations, and the whole essence of it was to help people all over the world not turn their home into a bunker, but more of a sanctuary. Like, if you're going to be stuck at home, let's put some basic things into place where it's a beautiful retreat, you know, at home, like not just in fear and, you know. So that was my give back for that. And I didn't talk about what was going on outside. I just wanted people to come within, because everything, you know, we look for is within us. So that was a beautiful time. And I've got a fantastic audience that we chitty chatted with, and yeah, it was great. I loved it.
You know, in you just saying that, and obviously I've been privileged to be part of that journey and story with you. And in you saying that, and we've still got countries that are in heavy lockdown, Europe, UK, like there's so many places that are still in heavy lockdown. And so, you know, I remember, because I was meant to go overseas, right? And I was like, oh no, I'll be there by like June. I'll be there by September. 100% I'll be there by Christmas. Okay, I'll be there by Easter. Like, you know, all the things. Yeah. And so here we are, like, you know, 14, 15, 16 months later, and still there are so many communities that are locked down. I love this space about bringing the beauty of being at home, something that's really special, a sanctuary at home. And I think there's a real need for that today, because we have this time at home, people are working at home, kids are being educated at home.
I'm so glad I didn't have kids at home during COVID. I wouldn't have done it.
You've been fine. Like everyone else was fine, right?
So I really respect you all. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think there's still this real need for us to create sanctuary at home, right? And it is the space about, like, the chemicals, the pollutants, the food, you know, the environment, the paint, you know, spray.
It's very interesting. I'm one of those people that come to your house and just go look in the cupboard and like, what's going on here? You know, because people say, oh, look, I'm a vegan and I'm eating organic. I'm like, great. And then they say, oh, the bathroom's in there in the laundry, and you sit down and the tumbler's going on, but there's all these detergents and they're blowing through the air in the dryer, and it smells. And I'm just like, oh my God, and get me out of here, you know, and I've become quite sensitive to it. So there is, okay. So, you know, a lot of people now, I do juice cleanses with one-on-one. I deliver it to their door. I make it with local produce here in Byron. I get, you know, Farmer Nick delivers it to me. I do a bespoke sort of cleanse for them and deliver it with all the information and the support and everything. And I've noticed that I think everyone knows what I know, and I don't realize that, wow, there's a lot of trickery going on out there in the supermarkets and, you know, in the commercial life, and what we're supposed to have faith in. We're supposed to have faith in all of these big companies. But, you know, I look at a supermarket and I don't see food. I see plastic, I see processed, I see MSG, I see flavors, sugars, kind of, and all in bright colored packages. And it really upsets me. I do go to our local IGA here. I think I boycotted Woolworths and Coles 20 years ago. I just cannot abide by them. So to not just say, here, have a cleanse. It's like, let's have a look at your life. Let's have a look at what's happening in your home. As soon as you open your eyes in the morning, you know, what's happening? Are you grabbing your phone? Are you just going, oh my God, what a day? Blah, blah, blah. You know, so I did put some things in place to, so you just get out of bed and go, yeah, here it is. Doesn't matter if you're in lockdown or you've got a stress job or you've got lots of problems or whatever. So it's quite interesting it's not just about detoxing your body. So people come to me and they say, I want to get fitter. So they get gym memberships, they buy more Lycra clothes, they get another yoga mat, they buy some weights. They go, yeah, but they just buy, you know, I'm feeling sick. I'll go to the doctor, I'll go to this place, I'm going to take these synthetic vitamins. And people feel that when we want to be well or better versions, that we need all these things. And that's what society has done. Take all these things, do all this stuff. Yeah, and we think that that's going to make us better. Yeah, but our default setting is our body, you know, heals itself. And I often say to people, if you cut yourself, imagine you had a huge gash on your arm, you're not going to go, oh my God, I'm going to bleed out, or I'm going to walk around for the next 60 years with this open flapping flesh. You know, you get yourself out of danger. I'm sorry, you know, I'm good with the blood. If you have an injury, you make sure your environment is safe. You clean the area and you protect it and you will heal. So what I do with cleansers is, let's clean the area, get out of harm's way. Make sure you're out of harm's way and clean the area and then keep it safe, you know, and you will heal yourself. And that's what I've learned from most of my mentors and the people that are my peers. It's just about the basics in life, and it doesn't cost anything to breathe and to smile and to dance and take your shoes off. And it's actually cheaper. My life is so cheap.
Don't brag about being cheap, lady.
People go, isn't it expensive to eat organic? And I said, isn't it expensive to have diabetes? You know, like, come on, you know, I don't buy any big detergents. You know, I buy, it's so cheap to be me. Inexpensive to be me.
I love it. It's not that cheap to be me. But there's such an interesting thing you just said. So Robbie was here the other day for the weekend, and, you know, we're in Costa Rica, and Costa Rica's not that cheap, actually. I thought it would be cheap like Bali, not that cheap. Just note to people. Anyway, so I said, what are you doing? He's in the shower, and he's like, I've got a lump here. He's rubbing it. You can't see me, but he's rubbing his lump, I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'm just reprogramming it so it goes away.
No.
Right? So I'm like, this is just this innate thing we have, right? This capacity to really heal ourselves. Our body listens. We're like multi-dimensional beings. The thing that I was I don't even know if there's a word for it. So on my way through, because people say, how did you get to Costa Rica? I'm like, on a plane. Yeah. Those things still happen. The world is still turning. I'm meeting people every day from around the world because I'm not listening to the narrative that has been passed through. And I create my own reality. So anyway, we're here and amazing people are here and they're doing amazing things, and I'm blessed to be able to do these things. But anyway, I got to LA because I was in transit, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be in LAX because why would you? And I had a bit of time. So I was like, I'm just going to check into an airport hotel. I can sleep, I can shower, I'll just, you know, watch a movie or something and recharge before I get on my next flight. And so I turned on the television just to like try and sleep, because television I find so boring. So I'm like, if I turn that on, I definitely will sleep because my body clocks up. Anyway, and I watch it, and I kid you not, 8 out of 10 commercials were for medication. It was so alarming to me that 8 out of 10 things on television were like, you know, this is the new diabetes. Do you have like and this is such and such for like your blood pressure. And literally every single thing I saw on the Smellovision, and it's probably the only time I've seen television in that long.
It's a tell you vision. It's going to give you your vision.
Right. And here's this narrative about taking all this stuff. And so we are such creatures of our environment and the information.
And we have opportunities not to. And it's funny you mention that, because I heard that there was a little supermarket happening down behind Lennox. It's like I heard a whisper. Never been there. So I'm like, I have to go and see a friend in Balance. So I just have a little look. And suddenly I'm winding down this, you know, ColourBond ocean of I didn't even know existed, of these little cute little houses, and going down, like, where is this supermarket? And of course, boom, what do I see? Massive franchise supermarket, massive bulk booze. Yeah. The tobacconist is there. And
What?
yeah. So it's booze, fake food, and the tobacconist and the real estate agent who's selling all of the little Legoland block boxes around it. And of course, upstairs was a clinic, and then downstairs was the big bulk franchise pharmacy, which is just plastic. There's nothing in there that's real, right? And I just walked in and went, oh my goodness. What I realized is, when you're living in this toxic little environment with your air conditioning and your toxic paint and your Omo and all your stuff, and then you go and eat that food and then drink that booze or smoke whatever they help you smoke. I mean, you can smoke, they've got things to smoke, anything. And then have a drink, and then you get so sick, you go to the doctor and he gives it, and you go down. So it's this perfect little infrastructure that they've made for unwellness in that thing. And I thought, what a shame they had the opportunity to have a permanent local market. They could have had a beautiful outdoor appointed specific play area. They could have had a beautiful market to show, you know, like local produce to come in, local clothing to come in. They could have had masseuses and acupuncturists and everything for the infrastructure to support that brand new big scape of housing. But it's just like it's like a potato press stamp. You know, you have this many houses, you need this supermarket, this booze shop, this pharmacy. And that's what breaks my heart every day.
Well, the town planning is like, based on so many people, you need so many things. You know, you've got this volume of things. You're going to need you need an A, B, and C. It's like, we are literally a cookie cutter society.
Absolutely.
So, oh my God, you and I love this, right? But everyone else is like, you girls, shut up. I'd love to know, because I'd love for everyone to know, who are you when you're at your best?
At my best, oh God. At my best, I'm usually, so in a day, I know when I'm at my best when I actually leap out of bed after I've thought about my dreams, because they're Hollywood blockbusters, the stuff I dream about, and a little crazy, exhausting. I'm at my best when I have the freedom to not wear shoes, to go out in the sun, like run on the beach, jump in the ocean. But I'm at my best when I'm in front of someone that I can help, when I'm actually in a conversation and gently enlightening and gently, you know, listening. And, you know, I did it yesterday with my sister-in-law. She's like, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly, bing, I'm like, it's your thyroid. So I'm, you know, and I'm sending you things about, it's, you know, it's the season for pineapples. Let's eat some pineapples. And I'm sending all the information. I love doing that. I love researching. I like looking at a person as a whole, their environment, their personal environment, their relationships, you know, their health, their body, everything as a package deal, and just sitting there and going, let's work this out, because less is more, you know, like, let's take away all of the things you think have been helping you and stand there, and let's start from that spot. That's when I get really excited about that, as you can tell.
That's you at your best. And so I see you do this all the time, right? I see you do this with people where you're like, you got to do this thing. And off Karin goes, right? And creates all this work and does all this beautiful healing. But actually, it's not even healing, because what you have a capacity to do that other people may not is you're actually able to connect the dots, right? You're actually able to see the big picture, not just the surface stuff, and to connect the dots between the visible and the invisible and the layers that exist around, to see how this is really impacting people in a deeper way.
Yeah. It's like putting your hand through the veil of the, you know, the nonsense that we live in. And there's a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of triggers and stuff that's come through their lineage. You know, if you can go into the whole spiritual thing, well, you know, what's their mission here in life? Are they, you know, are they living their mission and their passion? there's so many things, you know, like even how your body holds all of your stress and dis-ease. You know, when I was talking to my sister-in-law, my brother went, she's actually sick today. I said, she's probably letting go. She's probably relief now because we've talked about stuff. She hasn't got a tummy bug. She's just like purging, which is great. And that she hasn't even taken anything or done anything. It was just about that emotional release. So it's just such a big thing, not just a here, take a pill.
I love it. I love it. You're so awesome.
And the research, I'm always, my nephew said to me, do you ever just read a novel? I'm like, no, I'm always got, it's like,
100%.
and I listen to this audio book, 40 hours on how not to die. Okay, wow. And I punch through them and I listen to them every spare minute and I'm just taking notes and I'm getting excited and I can't sleep. Yeah.
So. You're so cute. Tell me, like, of all the things that you do, because like I would love, because people would know this. So here's like my beautiful white knight goddess friend. Now these are all the things I know you've done, but I'm probably missing some. So you've had a clothing line.
Yeah.
Yeah. You lived on a macadamia farm. You've been an actress, a video mentor, a farmer, wellness practitioner, holistic lifestyle coach. You, like, seriously one of the most organized event like catering people I've ever seen. You're a host for a cabaret showcase extravaganza in Byron Bay. What else? What have I missed? What else is in the arsenal of Karin?
I'm an artist. I do a lot of art.
You're a beautiful artist. You're a painter, a writer, a doodler. You've been involved in organic food. You've been a founder of an organic company.
Yes, I have. Wow. And I've opened my own restaurants and raised 4 kids as a sole parent. Right. What that looks. What?
What did I miss?
Lots of things. I'm a designer and inventor, so I'm always like, I've got a book full of, I invented wheels on bags in my little drawing when my kids were little before, but I never get them out there. So I've got all of these little designs that I do, like space luggage and in my spare time. I don't know what else.
Talk to me about what inspires you at the moment. What's inspiring you right now?
Inspiring me right now is what's happening out there with the big COVID-y crapola. I'm inspired. I'm loving seeing how people are coping, how people are changing, how people are becoming more conscious, how the narrative of the BS is actually, it's taken something like this for a lot of people to open their eyes and go, what it is, this is not making sense. So I am absolutely loving it. And I read a beautiful thing the other day and saying that, you talk about conspiracy theorists, they're not getting paid. They have nothing to achieve. All they're doing is looking out for the people they love, opening their eyes, stepping outside the box, doing the real research and coming back with you with some other information besides what's on the television. So, I'm really inspired by that right now. And I know there's a lot of mental health that's going to come out of this. There's a lot of, with the lockdowns. If I go into, that we just had Easter cancelled here. If I sat quietly, I was up in Wilson's Creek and I could see a 360-degree view, and there was Byron going through all that schmozzle. And I just sat quietly and went, but it's not real. It's all people's opinions and friction, I'm just excited for the end result. It's going to get hard, but there's going to be so much truth and so much light and better way of life and better food, and people aren't going to get away with poisoning us. And do you know what I mean? I can see that there's a big picture coming, and I'm bloody excited about that, I've got to say. I know there's a lot of pain and turmoil, but just like, turning your house into a sanctuary, I think that's going to be more of a popular thing. It's people are going to go, whew, yes, we do need vitamin D, which means we should be out in the sun and exercising and taking our shoes off. Finally, the papers have come in, So all the research I've been doing, and I put something out there and people go, rah, bombard me. And I'm like, I've read 100 medical papers this month. Like, go away. I have conversations with people right deep in this sort of stuff, you know, whether they're political or legals or medical or, you know, nutrition and all that kind of stuff. I love researching all these things. And I love that people's opinions are there, and I love to just quietly watch them shine. And it's going to change, and it's for the good. It's going to be exciting.
Totally is. Now, for those who don't know, like all the stuff we've done together, we were with Roger James Hamilton for a bit, right? So a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about what Roger is saying is that there are these 90-year cycles, and he's not the only one. A couple of other people, a gentleman here who's talking about this as part of a 90-year cycle, 4.5 generations. And so this cycle that we're in, it has happened for thousands of years. This is not new shit, right? The stuff that we're going through is actually part of a regular cycle that happens. It's like a deconstruction of the current scope so that this new emergence can come through. We don't know what that looks like, right? But one of the things about these I can't remember the name, anyway, I can't remember the name, but one of these things about this cycle, particularly that Roger Hamilton says, is that it's going to last until 2025, right? So here we are in 2021, and we've got a little bit of time to get through this, right? Like any great change or transformation at this time, it's not instant, like all of those things. And so we have this opportunity to really, as a collective, co-create what this looks like by being more aware. And I, you know, really, I think, and my beautiful friend Nicole Gibson, who you know really well, she says 4% of the population is enough for us to create that critical that change, right? And so if 4% of the population are thinking and feeling this way, it's enough for critical mass to start to, you know, have that ripple effect throughout the world. So the more work you do, the more you connect, the more you align with people who think what you think and believe what you believe, the greater the opportunity is for us to create something really wholesome and wonderful.
It's beautiful. I mean, my kids all just roll their eyes and go, now what, Mum? You know?
Yeah. My friends do too. Actually, my friends don't, because my friends are like us, right? We're all thinking the same thing. So
yeah. My kids used to be embarrassed. They come home from school and I had a smudge stick and a feather up the ladder going, hi, kids. They brought their friends home. They're like, oh, my God, Mum, it's so embarrassing. But you're right.
My mother, because she wore a purple Indian dress with beads on it, and when she walked, the beads would rattle. And Rachel's still mortified by this. So
mothers are meant to embarrass their children. I agree with you. And you know what, Martine, being in Byron during this whole time and listening to people and talking about the good stuff that's happened out of this. Oh my gosh, it has given people an excuse to leave that job, to leave that relationship, to leave that town, to get out of the situation they were in physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. A lot of people have gone, wow, I can actually now step out. Didn't think I could because it was all too much. And there is always, since I was a kid, my mum used to say to me, something good always comes out of something tough or bad, you know, and it's showing up here everywhere.
It's so beautiful. I love it. You're so awesome, and your work is so important. And I've seen how you just organically move into that space. It is your calling, it is your gift. You know, when I showcase, because at the moment, so those who may or may not know is that I was blessed to be able to work with Karin to create the Byron Me brand. And so it's one of the pieces of work that I'm most proud of, because it is so freaking beautiful.
So beautiful, Martine. I love you.
It's so beautiful. And it took us some time to get there, to be fair, but we got there in the end. And, you know, I showcase your brand all the time. And one of the things I was like, this is my, you know, this is Byron Me brand. And we had this wonderful time creating this brand. And here's my beautiful friend, Karin. And they're like, oh my God, she is amazing. I'm like, yes, she is.
Well, you caught me, you know, you had the photographer, the brief, the colors, the design, everything just went, oh, that's me at a glance, you know. And as you say, I'm so multi-dimensional and so many things going on. I didn't know who I was or how you can put me on a piece of paper or in a brand of any kind. I'm like, where would you even start? Because what goes on in my mind is like, so Martine's known me long enough, or even she doesn't even need to know people long enough. She's done it for my sister as well. Just when here's the brief, long conversations, tick the boxes. Okay, what's going to happen here? And then boom, suddenly there's this fabulous representation of me at a glance. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Cool. It's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool. No, it's cool. Yeah, I love it. But like, it's that radiance that, you know, we don't know our greatness. This is the whole piece about the shine the light. This is how branding in a box started. We
Yeah.
don't know greatness. We actually don't know what other people see in us. And sometimes we just need someone to shine a light on that, right?
That's so
So
true.
that we can stand in that space.
Mm.
And so that's what the branding in a box is about. That's what this is today is about. Is that people need to know who you are and what you do. It's hard for you to say, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm awesome. You should look at me. But I can totally say, look at her, look at her, look at her. She's so awesome. You need more of that, right? That's what this is all about.
And I do that for everyone. I'm like, you need Martine. You need to, like, you know, we do that all the time. And it's so true that who are we to talk about ourselves? And I think we've been trained from a young age to not boast about what we do. Or, you know, a friend of mine the other day, who she's probably on here, was talking to her about her health, and you know, she's moved to Byron, and I connect people with everything in Byron. You know, what do you need? A colonic, whatever. After 20 odd years here, I know the pseudo gurus and the fakies, and I know who is outstanding and passionate and shines in any area. And she said, have you ever thought about public speaking, Karin? I'm like, oh my God, I've always thought about public speaking. And I would always love, you know, because here I'm preaching to the people who already know the stuff, you know, that's why I loved being online. But, you know, with the branding and everything you did for me. And then when I had nothing else to do, nothing else to do, I had learned how to do webinars and how to, you know, I really tried to work out how to put myself out there and show up and show people who I am and how to connect with me. And I realized that I would just, and then of course the world just went, not as easy to travel as it used to be, which is kind of glamorous and fun. I would love to go and speak to the people in the cities, the people who haven't even thought about this stuff yet. You know, the people who haven't taken their shoes off on earth for months at a time. I would love to go and speak to these people and speak with them, have a conversation with them. That's my thing. But I would never have, and took Donna to go, you should be doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I really should be doing that. But you're right, shining the light on something. You need someone else sometimes.
100%. Like, I don't know why does anyone listen to me? Do you know? Like, we just don't know our own greatness. And that's not me being, it's actually like, we don't know. We think we know because we're like, oh, I want to be this and I want to project this world. And actually, that's not the piece.
Yeah.
Just allow ourselves to be okay with our humanness.
Yes.
And the light comes through anyway, but we don't see that because we're so busy with all of our enoughness and all our humanness and all of our isms that get in the way of just allowing ourselves to show up in that space. And I think
that's true. I think we're harder on ourselves too. You know, like I'm doing all this stuff and I love drinking wine and I love eating potato chips. Like I'm not going, I'm some perfect guru and my life is pure. That's crap, you know. I'm even, you know, people like you and I are probably harder on ourselves in our own line of work because we want to be authentic. We don't want to feel like we're, what's that word that people go, not intruder. Anyway. Imposter syndrome. Well, who do I think I am to help you with that? Even though I study it for thousands of hours and I live it and I walk my talk on so many levels. So you're right. It's just an incredible situation.
It's our stuff.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to share with everyone who is watching now or later, like what would be the best way for people to get in contact with you? If they wanted to do one of your detox or hear you, or maybe they want to bring you into their field and you can connect, how would they connect?
Right. Well, it was easy just to go to my website, which is byronme.com.au. And it's all there. My links to my socials are there. My juice cleansers are there. My YouTube channel's on there. You know,
boom. Who are you?
Who are you? And me, not with the, like, it's usually you'll see Byron plus me, but it's Byron and ANDME.com.au. Boom. Boom. You'll see Martienes magic all over that website.
So darn cool. So darn cool. And I love this last piece as we bring this to a close, and I just love that I get to hang out with you online. So darn cool.
Since I can't squeeze you and kiss your cheeks since you've gone over there.
Yeah. is there anything that you feel drawn to share or say to wrap this up for today? Is there anything on your mind or on your heart?
Yes, let's have a think about that. I would say for everyone just to be gentle with yourself right now and be gentle with everyone else, because everyone is learning and coping and doing what they can at the time with the tools they have. So we all have opinions and attitudes, but I feel that we just need to sit on our hands, not wave them around and point at people just yet. Just go within, because everything you need, and every bit of love, everything support you've got inside you. So be gentle with you, be gentle with everyone, even if it's some dude on TV. Just stop and listen to within, because a lot of it will blow over. It's all just wind and hot air and nonsense, smoke and mirrors, and then it will get easier. So just go easy.
Go easy.
Stay
I love
still.
it. I love it. You're awesome. I love you. I love that we get to connect. Thanks for showing up and doing this and sharing with our community. And, thanks for doing your work. It's so important.
And gee, we managed to get on here. We went from this to Messenger to some other new thing, and I was like,
we did it.
Calm and carry on. Everything's meant to be as it is.
Always is. Always is. Big love to you.
Big love to you.
Yeah, from Costa Rica, baby.
Oh, Costa Rica to Byron Bay.
I love it. Have the best Friday. I'm still in Thursday, so.
Oh, it's fresh Friday morning. It's a crisp blue sky day, and I'm heading to the beach.
I love it. Go swim in the ocean for me. I'll do the same here. I'll tag you.
Okay. Love you.
Beautiful lady.
Bye.
Love you.